Hey guys, today I wanted to share with you my summer favorites, and I feel like I must be missing something, but these are all the things that I had written down and had thought of to add in. And if you are curious about just like the new things I've tested over the past couple months, I will have my different speed reviews linked down below. First is a primer that is in my project pan. I'm almost done with it. This is the Too Faced Primed and Peachy Cooling Matte Skin Perfecting Primer. This was the oldest primer in my collection. It was discontinued years ago, and I am just so sad because this was so easy to use. This never balled up on me. It never made my makeup pill. This worked perfectly with any foundation, any moisturizer, all of my skincare products, and I have been testing several things, and this worked nicely with everything. It really did help keep me matte and just does feel really nice and cooling and refreshing. Like, this is such a nice product, and I just had to shout out because I've loved it. I'm so sad that it is not available anymore. I had a really hard time finding a matte primer that I feel like does enough for me, but is a really like workable consistency, won't make my makeup apply or wear off in a patchy way, and that was just perfect. The new Benefit one is very nice as well, but I don't know if it's going to totally replace my Too Faced, but I guess it will kind of have to. Then for cheeks, first thing was just a little foil sample I had of the NARS Afterglow Liquid Blush and Orgasm. It was so beautiful. It applied so easily to the cheeks. I would just put my beauty blender like into the sample jar and pick up product and tap it on my cheek, and it just blended in effortlessly. It was beautiful. It was a buildable color. It never made my makeup lift. And once I finished it up, I was trying to find an affordable dupe, and this is not 100% but very similar. The Juvia's Place blush lighter in Soft Tulip Glow. Now they do have just a soft tulip, but this is the glow version, and it's so beautiful. This is a very pigmented formula, blends really easily. I find this super easy to work with as well, so definitely recommend this formula and this shade if you love that NARS one. And I know a lot of people did not like that formula, and I heard some inconsistencies between like the holiday set and the full size, which is pretty common for a lot of brands, but the formula was fantastic, and this is a great alternative. And then once I finished that little NARS sample, I moved on to this deluxe size sample of the Tarte Maneater Blush and Glow Cheek Plump in Pink. And I enjoyed this so much that I ended up buying several shades from Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, and this is the Glow formula. They do have a satin formula as well, and this does give a really nice glow to the cheeks, but it is not shimmery like the Juvia's Place one is. And I literally would just take like 1 or 2 dots on each cheek, blend it out with my beauty blender, and it looks, again, gorgeous, flawless. This is buildable. It looks healthy and glowy. It doesn't lift my makeup underneath, and you guys know I wear a lot of base makeup, so I was really impressed with this formula. Hopefully you guys were able to pick up some during the sale. My last cheek product would be the Persona Cream Blush Stick in Bloom that was made in collaboration with Sarah Wolak, and she made this a year ago, and I purchased this a couple months ago, so I'm hoping it's still available now. This is a perfect like warm pink shade. You guys know these are my type of colors. This is a really nice pigmented formula that is like a cream to powder, which I love. It's easy to work with, so highly recommend that. And lastly, for face is the Sigma Glowkissed highlight palette. This is something I had contemplated getting rid of because I wasn't using all the shades. I thought that only these two would work for me, and actually I can use these 2 shades here on their own. These have to be mixed, but there are some perfect mixers here. So this is such an amazing metallic formula. I'm wearing one of the shades today. It just looks so beautiful on the skin. It is more of an intense highlight, but I don't find it to emphasize texture too badly. It doesn't look glittery. I decluttered my individual Sigma highlights because I found those to be, I didn't like the formula. I feel like they got hard pan kind of quickly, and the highlighters in their cheek duos and in this palette I think are totally different formulas, and these are so much better. So I highly recommend this. Very happy that I put this in a project and tested it out because I've gotten so much use out of that, and it will definitely be staying in my collection. I think that would be so great for a makeup artist as well, again, if you're liking more of a beaming highlighter. Then for eyes, I only have a couple of favorites here. First is something that I finally tried after so many people have raved about it forever. This is from Half Magic. It is their Glitter Puck, which is supposed to be like a face and body and eye and maybe lip shimmer shadow, which is why it's so big. But I'm only going to use this on my eyes, so it's going to last me forever. And this is a really beautiful pink shade with a little bit of like champagne shimmer in here, and I have just been using this as a topper, and it's beautiful. It almost feels a little bit wet when you touch it, but it's not an actual like cream. It just adds a really beautiful amount of glitter. I would love to see them come out with more shades because this is a really nice formula. This has me interested in more lid toppers, which is a new thing for me. So I did just pick up Urban Decay Space Cowboy when it was on sale. I am interested in some of the other neutral shades that are available at Sephora, but they're not in store for me to swatch them. And their new holiday quad, I will probably end up getting that, which you see, I find something new that I like and I want to go crazy with it. But this is very nice. It's just a ton of product, but it wasn't super expensive, so I think that probably works out. And I got mine on sale, of course. Then I have a couple of rediscovered palette favorites, and this is something that I had contemplated getting rid of as well. This is from Aether Beauty. This is their Desert Sunset palette, and Aether Beauty went out of business, but they are back, baby, which is so exciting. I've only tried like the palettes from them, but I really like them. So out of this palette, I love the 4 shades in the center. These other colors here, I think the formula is good, but they're a little bit too like neutral, leaning cool tone, where I would like some warmer shades because of what we got going on in the middle. But I think that these are really nice and pigmented, have a beautiful shift to them, and I loved the looks that I created with these. So I will have those makeup of the days linked. And then gotta love the ColourPop Liz McGuire What Dreams Are Made Of palette, and I used these 4 shades here. So we have a lid, transition, crease, outer corner, which I thought was just so gorgeous. You guys know I love those type of peachy shades. And then I did often put the glitter puck on my lid as well. I think ColourPop has a really nice formula. I haven't purchased a palette from them in quite some time, I believe. And I think that this is a really fun one, and Liz McGuire was one of my favorites. This palette, I used a couple of limited edition ColourPop Creme Gel liners, but this one is my favorite of that collection, which was Crystal Crush Plum Smash. And then this Metallic Peach is at Sunset. You'd think this was like a scary color and wouldn't be flattering, but it's really pretty. So I loved getting more use out of that. And then a product that I'm wearing on my waterline and lower lash line today. This is the ColourPop Creme Gel Liner in Get Lucid. I initially bought this hoping that this could be similar alternative to Rosette, which was a holy grail shade of mine that was discontinued. They're very different. That one is a little bit lighter, a little bit more of like a rose gold champagne. The copper is not as strong as this. This is a little bit more copper, a little bit more red. It's a little bit darker, and I was disappointed because it wasn't a dupe, but I've been using it so much, and this is a great formula. I think it's a really pretty shade, so definitely happy to have this. I'm so sorry if the lighting is off at all. The curtains in here are messed up, so more sunlight is coming through than normal. I actually have 10 different lip product favorites, which you guys know I don't tend to show a lot of lippies in these videos, which is unfortunate because I buy so many. But I was loving gloss formulas. I was loving more like sheer shiny lipsticks, lip crayons. I have 5 more neutral options and 5 more bright options, which is different for me. I haven't worn bright lippies in years, but all of these are a little bit more on the sheer side, so I find them to be more wearable and just look so beautiful. So let's start with the more neutral lippies. First is something that I have mentioned before. This is a Lawless Forget the Filler Lip Gloss in Cali Sunset. This is exclusive to QVC. I would love to buy a backup at some point because I just love it so much. And just from like organically using it, I have finished like a third of it, and it is just a stunning shade. Let me swatch it for you. It does have a little bit of shimmer in here, which is very pretty, but it has a great amount of base pigment. It's just a really nice warm peachy shade with a little golden shimmer. Then we have the ColourPop So Juicy Plumping Glossy Lip Oils, which is a newer formula. I wanted to try multiple shades, but I had seen that a lot of them weren't very pigmented, so I just picked one color that I heard did have pigment, and this is Hits Diff. This is a nice minty lip oil. There is a little bit of tackiness there, which is fine. I wouldn't call it sticky, but I do think it helps the product stay in place a little bit better. The only negative is that the applicator is so big, you have to be really careful when you get out the product so it doesn't splash around. And this is a little bit rosier and it doesn't have the shimmer that Cali Sunset does, but it's a great neutral gloss. And then we have the Fenty Beauty lip oil in Frosted Buns. This was limited edition. I really hope that they come out with more shades and make them permanent, and maybe some that don't have shimmer. But this is a really nice lip oil formula because it's nice and smooth, but it isn't too thin and slippery or greasy at all. But you can see this doesn't have a ton of base pigment. It's mostly shimmer, which I think is very pretty. And lastly, for the more neutral lippies, we have the NYX Fat Oil Slick Clicks, and I have two different shades. This more neutral one is linked in my bio, and this more rosy one is going viral. And these are cream ones. There's another more neutral shade in this line as well, but it has a little bit of shimmer in it. Luckily, I was able to swatch that in store before I bought it. So we have a link in my bio and then going viral. And these are less glossy than a lot of the other lippies I'm about to show you, but they do have a nice amount of pigment. They're very comfortable, very creamy. I really love this formula. Now we have my bright lippies. I finally got to try out the MAC Squirt lip balms, and these are really nice. I do think that they're similar to the Makeup by Mario's, except these are a little bit more sheer, which works out well for my preference, especially with these bright shades. So the hot pink is called Amped. These are super messy. There is the pink shade. And for me, they do show up a little bit more on the lips. And then this like hot orange red is Heat Sensor. I do not like oranges, but this is like a really pretty, almost like a coral color. So I do find it to be a little bit more flattering. And these do still have that regular MAC vanilla scent, but those are very glossy in comparison to the NYX, and they're not as pigmented as you can see. And then I believe that this duo was available. This was released around the holidays last year. This is from In Beauty Project, their collab with Poppy, and we have two shades, Cranberry Fizz and Raspberry Rose. They are scented like the names, which is really nice. And they're just super cute packaging, really pretty shades. And I loved my makeup looks with these. And the In Beauty lip oils are thicker. They do have a nice amount of shine, but they're not like a thin formula if that is your preference. Just keep that in mind. So there are those swatches, and the cranberry one is a little bit more pigmented. And then lastly, from the Buxom Dolly's Glam Getaway collection, this is the lip cream in Berry Spritz. When I did my try on, I did not want to take this off. I actually wore it in some sessions, and this looks like it would be a scary shade, but if you wear this with no lip liner, it's nice and sheer and just gives you that beautiful wash of color. But I think paired with a lip liner, this would be so beautiful as well. It can go very vampy. But here are all 10 lippies I loved. Like I said, I'm probably forgetting something, but that would be all of the products that came to mind when I was thinking of my favorites from this summer. There are a lot of things that I tried over this past month that I feel like I need to use more to call them favorites, but definitely check out especially my reviews from this past month, because there were a lot of new products in there where the other months were new to me, but not like actually new. So hopefully you guys will enjoy hearing my thoughts on some other things that I have tried recently. But I would love to hear what products stood out to you as favorites from summer, whether they were rediscovered products or new items. And I'm really excited to go into fall. Fall is definitely my favorite makeup time of year. As much as I love my peachy eyeshadows, you guys know I love an olive, a copper, a warm neutral, and I have so many products to rotate through and some new palettes to play with, which I'm so excited about. So get ready for some new makeup coming soon. If only we can get that fall weather, it will be perfect. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.